and welcome back to the From the Terrace podcast. This week, we're not going to be talking about football because who gives a shit about the magic of the FA Cup when there's no fans there? So, anyway, we have decided that this week we are going to be debating overrated Premier League 11 from not just like from their performances this season, just from players who currently play in the Premier League. We've all made our own 11, and then I think we're going to just sort of vote and pick an overall one, aren't we? Really?
I think Jack's going to put in a nice edit. At the end, isn't he?
Jack, I think
he's our little whipping boy. We can get him to do whatever we want.
I think next week, or maybe when we have a better time to do it, we'll also do an underrated 11. But I do love to talk about overrated players, so we might as well get into it. I think
it does get me riled up, overrated players.
It is good.
Just things that are overrated in general, but overrated players is a good one.
So you could tell we like overrated the most because Charles had underrated for like a month and I came in like last week with overrated. I was like, yes, come on. Yeah. You love a bit of the chatter.
To be honest, it would be quite good to do an overrated exercise for like the whole of Premier League history as well at some point, just because I can't wait to go in on Michael Carrick. I just can't wait. It's my favourite.
He's underrated, Bill.
We had this overrated thing.
Pundit for 10 years. God, he's so underrated, you know. Oh, Ava they are.
Yeah.
It's a point where you're so underrated, you're now overrated.
Yeah.
I've got a player in this team with that syndrome as well.
Oh, no. Okay, so we've decided we're going to go 4-4-2 because that's just the easiest way to do it.
There's no set positions either.
No set positions.
Yeah.
4 defenders, 4 midfielders and 2 strikers. And we're going to start with the goalkeeper, obviously. So, right, what's everyone's picks for goalkeeper then?
Should we go Bill, me and then Regan order?
Yeah. All right. We'll put the names out there first, then we'll have the debate. Yeah. Right. I've gone Alex McCarthy.
I've gone Tim Krul.
I've gone Kepa.
Oh, all right. There's right. They all have their own little...
Alex McCarthy?
Yeah, see,
who's rating Alex McCarthy?
This is what I said, okay? So I did say that it's not like I've gone for De Gea, who's obviously a high people think is amazing. I've gone for McCarthy because, right, for one, for a long time, maybe after his mistakes recently, Southampton fans really rated him. He was getting touted for, like, he got in England squads, didn't he? He got touted for all of that. He was always been sort of listed as a promising keeper. He's starting to get on a bit. And I genuinely think he's one of the worst in the league, maybe the worst. I just genuinely, seriously, like, I know he comes out and makes decent saves every now and then. If you just, like, the guy's got, he's got crisp packet hands, like we say. He doesn't fill me with like, what can you tell me that Alex McCarthy does well? He doesn't. I wouldn't say he's an amazing shot stopper.
Good family man.
Yeah. He's not an amazing shot stopper. I wouldn't say he comes for crosses. I wouldn't say he's a commanding goalkeeper. And his kicking, as we've seen recently, is shit. And I am a bit biased. He was on loan at Brentford, and I saw him concede directly from a throw-in. We've spoke about this. But that, I'm sorry, that just sticks with me. I mean, he conceded directly from a throw-in. But I mean, yeah, Alex McCarthy's my shout. But goalkeeper was one that I was sort of open to for other people. So.
Yeah, I think it's hard for McCarthy, mainly because he wasn't starting, was he? They had Angus Gunn in front of him.
I nearly put Gunn in.
I mean, I would say that McCarthy's better than Angus Gunn.
Yeah, he is.
I would say that.
No, I agree.
But
right, so Tim Krul, it's an overall thing of if you're a bottom 3 goalkeeper, you can go no wrong in people's eyes because you're facing so many shots that you're going to save some of them. Think about it. With relegated teams, you've had your Etheridges. You had, what was the name of the Cardiff goalkeeper?
That was Neil Etheridge.
That was Etheridge.
Oh, not Cardiff. The one who went down with Cardiff the other time. What's it? Scottish guy.
Oh, David Marshall.
David Marshall. He was touted as like one of the best goalkeepers in the league.
Yeah.
And I feel like with Tim Krul, people are going, poor, he's in a bad team, but he's making the best of it. I don't think he is. I think he's a terrible goalkeeper. And like we've discussed this many times before, the term shot stopper is only used if you've got no other words to describe someone in a positive manner. Yeah. He claim crosses, he's erratic as hell. Yes, he'll save the odd penalty, but then he'll go let him one at his near post in the next thing. I just think he's not very good. I think he's championship.
Imagine your keeper not being a shot stopper. What is he then? No, what do you
Very
mean?
true.
It's like,
yeah.
I actually kind of agree with what Charles said, mainly because I feel if he didn't have that thing in the World Cup where he got subbed on for the penalties, I don't think anyone would rate him at all.
And also he has the record for the most saves made in the game against Spurs, isn't he?
I don't know if he does anymore.
Or De Gea, my bad.
Yeah. But yeah, he had that ridiculous game. And No, just maybe Newcastle fans are so used to crap for a while, but they thought he was good. But
I mean, they've got a good one now, but
yeah, but like
apart
you
from
said,
that.
like he had that World Cup, and like everyone was like, "Oh yeah, decent." But I mean,
But yeah, I chose Kepa mainly because starting off if you get benched for Willy Caballero for a few games, then you're obviously not very good, are you? And he's I think the world's most expensive goalkeeper.
yeah, but I don't.
£75 million.
I mean, I guess it is something to do. Like you can talk about that, but I think sometimes nowadays price tags are a bit.
Yeah, that's mainly down to the club
Yeah.
paying that much. Like Man United not paying 50 mil for Sancho. But he's a top. Where Chelsea fourth? Yeah, they're fourth.
Yeah,
And he only has 6 clean sheets.
yeah,
The whole league.
But
the defense in front of him is terrible.
I mean, they are spacked, is what
The
they are.
defense in front is terrible, but he's only made 46 saves this season.
Yeah, it's not great.
That's only 10 more than Roberto at West Ham.
But
I've not seen. What was that?
The only thing I think about Kepa is he does give me sort of like early De Gea sort of.
And he does get a lot of stick. Like
Gets a lot of stick. But gets a lot of stick. But I still see in some games where he makes outrageous saves. And I know what you're trying to say. Basically, he is definitely not a £75 million goalkeeper at the moment, and he's probably not even a top 4 Premier League goalkeeper at the moment. But I think he's still really young for a goalkeeper.
I don't think he deserves all the stick he gets, but I don't think he deserves all the massive amounts of praise he gets either. I don't see many times where he's pulled out moments of brilliance that I go and see. You know what? That's a world class keeper.
Yeah.
And he's starting in the Spain squad ahead of De Gea.
Yeah, but I think a lot of those squads, a lot of it's politics, isn't it? Like it's like how like Ciro Immobile doesn't start for Italy. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
Like,
I know he's young, and I imagine, like you said, he's going to turn out probably up there in one of the best goalkeepers in the world. But right now, I don't think he deserves the credit he gets.
No, I think you're right. To be honest, we're probably not gonna go for my shout, just because even though I think we can all agree Alex McCarthy's crap, he's not really rated by anyone in the Premier League apart from maybe Saints fans, really, is he? So, personally, I think with the arguments, I'd go Tim Krul.
Well, I forgot about Tim Krul, but now you said that, and yeah, I agree, because you expect him to make loads of saves, he just doesn't. He doesn't.
Like, you know, when you're a goalkeeper, like, he's not like really skinny, but he's still lanky somehow. And then
he's in that weird gangly kind of middle ground.
But then he's also really slow, like getting down. Like what?
Yeah, right. So we got Tim Krul in goal then.
Yeah, we got Tim Krul in goal because I was
insert edit. Tim Krul, welcome to the team. He's only
32. Cool. Huh?
He's been around he was quite young when he was at Newcastle.
Is he? Bloody hell.
I thought he'd be like 38. That would give him a reason to get down to everything so slow, but he's 32.
Right, so
defenders.
We're going to go on to defence. And the way we did this, because we don't all have like a balanced right back, left backs, 2 centre backs sort of thing. I think we're just going to name all 4 of our defenders, aren't we?
Right, you go first, Bill.
Right, this is hard. Right, so I've got 100% Christensen from Chelsea, Ryan Burchard, and now I'm just stuck whether I want to put someone in. No, I'm going to go with these 2. Right, I've got Michael Keane and Nathan Ake. I was going to swap Nathan Ake out for Tyrone Mings because I think Mings is it, but I've gone with Nathan Ake just because I think he's a bit of a different one, but not people wouldn't say. But yeah, so Christensen, Keane, Ake, and Bertrand I've gone.
I've gone for Michael Keane.
Yeah, I knew you would.
Steve Cook and Ryan Bertrand.
Right, Steve Cook I think I was going to put in as well.
Who was the second one, Charles?
Issa Diop.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I've gone for Bukayo Saka, John Stones, Andreas Christensen, and Danny Rose.
Okay. Oh. I like these.
Well, okay, so let's look at the ones that have been given 2 votes. So
Bertrand's been given 2 votes, Andreas Christensen's been given 2 votes, and Michael Keane have all been given 2 votes, haven't they? I mean, it doesn't even necessarily we have to put them in because, like I'm open to other options.
Christensen, I'm so almost.
Right, so I am so for Christensen.
Yeah.
Do we agree on that?
Oh yeah, Christensen's
Yeah.
going right in there.
What does he have about him?
He's weak. He's not that.
You think
quick,
he's the
and
future of Chelsea? He's 24.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know what? I think he gets away with it because he plays next to other piles of shit. Do you know what I mean?
I think he gets away because he came through the academy, and all the Chelsea fans are like petting him. And he'll get there. He's come through our academy. He's going to be brilliant. Look at Hudson-Odoi. Just no.
Yeah, so we've got Christensen in there. That's lovely.
Welcome to the team.
Welcome to the team, Christensen. Anyone else stood out there from shouts people have given?
I personally think Bertrand's got to go in.
Yeah, I forgot. I was actually thinking putting Burchard above Danny Rose, but mainly because it's just the Newcastle fans and Appleby just saying that he deserves an England place. Does he deserve England? No.
Do you know what made me say? Do you know what made me say Bertrand? It's the fact that this is what I think of Ryan Bertrand. Even when I know he's not at his peak anymore. When he was at his peak and he was getting an England squad, I don't really understand the hype. I think he's an okay defender, but when it comes to going forward, like I see him as one of these fullbacks. He runs up most of the pitch and then just passes it backwards. I don't see any sort of I know Danny Rose can be out of position a lot. When Danny Rose got the ball, especially when he was in his prime and his best years at Spurs, he'd get past that fullback and he'd whip a good ball into the box, wouldn't he? Don't see Ryan Bertrand doing that, personally. Also, he, by every pundit, when he's, I don't know, just in the, when like in BT or Sky before the game, they highlight a player. Oh, he's a European Cup winner. Have a day off.
That's, yeah. He won the Champions League in 2012.
He's played left mid for a little bit in a Chelsea but just defended and fluked the Champions.
Very lucky.
Yeah, it's a load of crap. That team was not hard to get into. It's not like he was in technically he was the best team in Europe. But do you know what I mean? Like, the Kalou was on the other wing. Like,
there are loads of injuries as well.
Yeah, I'm not having this. And I think he has literally lived his career off being a European Cup winner. I mean, fair enough. He won a Champions League. But I mean, I just... not having...
So's Dejan Lovren. Like...
Yeah.
Is that... I feel like if you're a Saints manager... And I feel like everyone has it in their head. It's like, oh, Ryan Bertrand, left back. We don't need to sign anyone. Left back, sorted. I think if you want to be an ambitious club, you've got to question whether you're going to replace someone like Ryan Bertrand. And I feel like just the fact that he's been in the Premier League a lot and is fairly solid, people go, yeah, solid left back. Southampton, yeah, leave him.
Charles, I think the reason he stays in there is because Saints go through quite a few managers, don't they? So when they get a new manager in, like, even though I understand, I think Bertrand should be moved on. They should get someone better. But when a manager comes in, that's not the first thing to get rid of, is it?
No, yeah, you're right. He's not.
Agreed. And I reckon if a manager got 3 or 4 years there, he'd be gone. But that's how he hangs.
He's stable enough. Yeah.
I think he's good as I'd imagine he's good in the changing room to rile people up and adding a bit of experience because he has been he's been playing professional football and like relatively high tier for about a decade. So he's good for the young guys, but as a individual player on the pitch, I think he's overrated as well.
It's not that he's really bad. It's just that I don't see what he offers.
No.
But I just see him as an average fullback. I mean, I'd have him on the same level as like Joel Ward or something like that. But he seems to be rated higher than that, and I don't really get it. So we agree.
So we're going to put him in.
Yeah, I'd say so.
We've got Burchard and Christensen in there. Is there any other shouts that people have? What do people think of I don't think he's going to get in, but what do people think of my shout of Nathan Ake?
I was considering putting Nathan Ake in there. I know a lot of people say he's way too good for Bournemouth, and there's a claim to say, well, he's part of that defence. Like, you can't just give him I think he gets way too many free passes.
Yeah.
But I do think he is still a decent. I still think he is better than Bournemouth, but
I agree. He is the best member of that Bournemouth defence. He is. He definitely is.
It's not hard, is it?
But I mean, one, it's not hard, and two, if you're still a proper leader, a proper good player would make them at least a bit better, because I think that their defence is actually shit, isn't it? It's atrocious. It's
worst. It's probably worse. Yeah. Other than maybe Villa, probably the worst defence in the league.
Yeah, it's right up there as being terrible. And I mean, if you're a proper good centre-back leader who can, when they sort of say 60 million back to Chelsea, I want you keeping clean sheets by yourself and organising that whole defence.
Agreed, yeah.
Not just making the last-ditch tackles because the rest of the defence is terrible. I'm not convinced by Ake, but I mean, I think we might have better shouts. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I'm not sure it's hard to base Ake mainly because he's only played for Bournemouth. But I feel like if he went to maybe a little bit higher team and he started, I would say he would actually do a relatively good job.
Yeah, I mean, I could see him in like the Wolves back three, like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, when people go on about him being elite, he is not an elite
he's
centre
not. No.
whatsoever. Absolutely not.
Yes, he starts for Holland, but
I know, like
anyone can start next to Van
don't
Dijk
get
as
their
well.
break, but there is a reason Chelsea didn't keep him. I'm sorry, there is.
Yeah.
If you're being sold and Kurt Zuma's being kept ahead of you, then you're obviously not rated highly.
What names did other people say then? Suggest?
Well, Michael Keane came up twice. I had him in mind.
Yeah, I had him in mind.
I just think Michael Keane is just a myth.
Where's it? Who was it? So Charles, you said Bertrand, Keane, Cook,
and Issa Diop.
Okay, I don't think I'm going to go with Diop personally.
No, I mean my thing behind Diop is just I think he's terrible. Yeah. But I think some people think he's decent.
Yeah.
So I know people strong enough to get into this team, but
people think because he was bought for a bit of money, he's all right, but he's not really. Is
I don't see many people rate him, mainly because no one rates West Ham's defence.
Yeah, I don't think many people rate. Who did you go for, Regan? Then who did you?
John Stones, Christensen, Danny Rose, and Saka.
So I think the players we're debating here. So for our last two spots, we've got between John Stones, Saka, Michael Keane, and Steve Cook. I think.
Personally, I think you got to put in Keane. I think you have to put in Michael Keane. I think genuinely the fact he's even in the discussion for that centre back squad is a myth. I just think I don't think he offers anything.
He's
centre backs in the discussion do. He's slow. He's not particularly dominant in the air. I don't think. He's like Maguire without the tenacity or whatever you want to call it.
Do you know what? There's some defenders, and this happens a lot of the time down in lower leagues, especially like Championship League One. They get shown to be a proper good defender when they play in a system that works for them. So Burnley, they play 4-4-2, and if you're a defender, and as long as you do listen to Dyche and listen to those tactics, you're gonna look a good player in that back four. You're going to, and it's like you get it in the Championship. Like there's players who, when they go to like a team that's like really got a proper system, they can, like an average player can look good in defences. Defences are sometimes not even about the individuals; it's about just a unit, isn't it? And as soon as he's come to Everton, where they play a bit more attacking, he's gonna have to have people running at him more, isn't he, at Everton, because they're not in such, they don't just sit back. He's been exposed as crap. He's not even average. He's just bad. He is. I think you're right. I think he's just.
I think Michael Keane has to be that first.
I genuinely feel sick at the thought of him. Even I know he's not our starting centre back, but getting a chance for England is oh my god, seriously.
He's not reliable. He's not reliable.
No, he's not. And you're right. I don't know what he offers. He's slow. He's probably all right in the air. He's not good on the ball. I don't really know.
Yeah, but when you think of all the other England centre backs, they're all good in the air as well, aren't they? So he doesn't bring anything special, does he?
No. He's like Harry Maguire without the ability.
Yeah.
He's, I don't know.
Maguire's got his critics, but Maguire can actually.
Maguire can actually.
I mean, it's more than that, but
I think Maguire can actually put in a world-class performance and do it relatively regularly, whereas Keane, no chance.
Yeah, okay. Well,
I think the way you look at it is that if they switch places with Keane and Maguire, Keane would be slaughtered.
Yeah.
So much more than Maguire, and Maguire would be probably one of the highly rated players in the Premier League if he played in that Everton defence.
Right, so are we going to go Keane then?
I'd say so, yeah. Because even though I do think John Stones don't deserve to start for England, he deserves to be in the squad, I think. But I don't think he deserves to start ahead of Maguire and probably this season Smalling.
Oh God, I wouldn't have Smalling back in that defence. Oh.
He's done really well this season. I think that's what he needed.
This is like a thing you do well in Serie A, don't you? Do you know what I mean? This is he's like Michael Keane with the Burnley system, Smalling. Not having him.
Right, okay, he's not even in the league this year. Let's not talk about Smalling.
Right, so we've gone Keane, Bertrand, Christensen. We've got one last player to go.
I mean,
what was your one, Bill?
Mine was Nathan Ake, but
oh yeah,
I want Steve Cook.
I want Saka.
I want to hear the Saka.
It's mainly because that I don't know. I don't get why people are touting him as the next big thing. Like, I don't avidly watch Arsenal. Like, God forbid anyone who does. But I don't see anything that shines out to me. But you know what? Yeah, he can lead the England back line or the midfield or wherever he plays, because he plays everywhere. But yes, he's 18, and yes, he's probably got a good future. But people are saying he deserves an England place now.
No.
He should be in England
That's
contention
true,
now.
actually. That's very true. People are saying he deserves an
Are
England.
you joking?
The problem with Saka is I think he's going to fall victim to something that a lot of players fall victim to.
Arsenal.
Is he a fullback? Is he a winger? And
Ryan Sessegnon's going through it now.
Starting to happen. Ryan Sessegnon, yeah, and Sessegnon, I'd say so much better than Saka. Like, I mean, not even a competition. So, yeah, I know what you mean, and I don't see loads of people touting him for England, but the people that do, and you see people go like, "Oh, Saka over Chilwell at the World Cup." What are you on about? Like, Saka, when I first saw him, I was actually so pleasantly surprised. When I first watched these first few games for Arsenal, I was like, God, he looks good. He looked good as a winger, though. And fullback, he can't defend. I mean, Charles, do you remember
That's not his fault, though, to be fair.
No, Charles, do you remember when you said how weak he was? And then literally just that, like, 30 seconds later, he got so bodied off the ball.
He is. I'm kind of torn. I wouldn't be too displeased to have him in this team. But he is one of those players that has actually proved me wrong to some extent. And he has a quality crosser of the ball, but a lot of the attributes, like I say, I like of him, are of a winger. And he should be nowhere near the England squad right now. Just shouldn't. And I feel like potentially he's a shining light in a bit of a terrible Arsenal team.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
If Saka was like 26, I know it's completely theoretical, but the quality of performances, if he was just like a 26-year-old like Kieran Gibbs, like, you wouldn't really... I don't think it'd be that exciting. But, I mean, he is exciting for a youngster, 100%. But I'd be quite happy to put him in the team.
I feel like he'll be shone. It'll be overshone or something? I think it'll be overlooked mainly because of the competition. Because when I think of Arsenal youngsters, I think of Joe Willock and Nketiah. I don't think of Saka straight away. And when you think of future England left backs, I wouldn't take Sessi on many because, like you said, Bill, he's a winger. But I think Brandon Williams is better than him.
Yeah. I haven't watched enough of Brandon Williams, but he does look good. You're very right. He does look
as a defender. If people want to play him as a defender, Brandon Williams will.
Brandon Williams ain't going to get the chances, though. I don't think. Like, I mean, he's had chances, but now Shaw's back, and I'm not sure.
Exactly.
Who was I going to say? Yeah, when you think about Arsenal youngsters, I genuinely can't get hyped for any. Personally, I think
Nketiah. I don't think Nketiah will make a career.
I'm not saying these guys are bad players. Like, Nketiah does look a good player. But like the hype that comes out of Arsenal every time for these youngsters.
Oh yeah,
I've said it to Charles for years. Like, every generation of like these young players who come through, Arsenal overhype these young players so much. Emile Smith-Rowe is. Oh my God, he can't cut it at Huddersfield. And I've seen people on Twitter saying he's going to come back to Arsenal and he could like be like the Ozil role. What are you on about? The guy won't cut it in the Championship, let alone the Premier League and Champions League. It's a load of waffle. Charles doesn't like Joe Willock. I know that. I do think these players aren't bad, and they'll make Chris. The best one's going to be Eddie Nketiah. It will be. But even now,
I think Eddie Nketiah will be a Premier League striker.
Yeah, he will be a Premier League striker, but he's not going to be an Arsenal striker. So
it shows you need to leave quickly. I mean, look at Gnabry. Gnabry left literally as quick as he could, and look at him now.
Right, should we try and fix the defence because we need to get on midfield as well?
Yeah, I think should we just put Saka in there?
Are you gonna go Saka?
I think it's good, but I can.
But like this ain't like these players are terrible. It's overrated.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't think anyone, frankly, rates Steve Cook.
No, I don't think they really do. I know what Charles means, but he should not be playing Premier League football. But like, yeah. Right. Midfield.
I think that's the global consensus.
Midfield. What we going?
Well, you're first, Bill.
I've got Alex Iwobi, Matteo Guendouzi, which I know Regan's going to agree with, Tom Davies at Everton, and Andreas Pereira at Manchester United.
What? Pereira? No way!
Oh, the guy is a big heap of
Right. I've gone for Danny Ceballos.
Ooh,
Pereira at Watford,
okay.
Dan James at United,
Okay.
and this is a controversial one, Mason Mount at Chelsea.
Oh, God, completely different midfield four, all right.
Right, I've gone for Harry Winks,
Ooh.
Daniel James, Matteo Guendouzi, twat, and Andreas Pereira.
Divide the Regans of all. So what we've got, the people who we've got two of in there, we've got
James Guendouzi and Pereira.
We've all got twos, yeah. Andreas Pereira, that is.
Welcome.
Oh
to
yeah,
the
yeah, I
team.
put Pereira. at
You're not
Watford.
welcome in that one either.
Right, so who do we want to talk about first? I think the first one to talk about is Dan James.
I think.
you
Sorry,
both-
Yeah.
Go on. No, go on.
I think this is the biggest myth that he's going to become like the next Giggs. Like some United fans have been saying that, and yet that start he got free. Bill, that is true. So
My argument. My argument would be for it not being Dan James is I don't think many people actually do rate him that highly. I think people.
No. I think
you know what? Actually, I think fans of other Premier League clubs don't rate him highly, and they all know he's the biggest fraud, which I see a lot of on Twitter. But you're right, people connected with Man United and the pundits. This kid's special. No,
he's not. He's a pacey Championship winger who, yeah, fair enough, he could become a good Premier League winger. He's not.
If you took away his pace,
his crossing is crap. His decision making is crap. Yes, he's quick, but he doesn't really know how to beat a man. He's just
Let's be honest. Manchester
average.
United signed him off that clip of him scoring that goal against Brentford.
Yeah.
I mean, scoring against the Brentford defence with Ezri Konza at the back is not hard. Not hard. Trust me. Nearly in here, Konza. Jesus. But no, it's not hard scoring it like it. And to be honest, Charles, I'm gonna have to agree with this, and we're gonna put Dan James in. Yeah. I wouldn't have him in Brentford's front three. I wouldn't have him in it.
I would, ahead of Knockout in ours, but mainly because he deserves to be in.
I don't think Dan James has got loads of technical ability. I think he's got drive and he's got pace, and he could be a decent Premier League player, probably on the wing for someone.
Yeah,
he can get you up the field, and he does try, but ability-wise, no, it's not there. It doesn't.
I feel like he'd be good in another country, mainly because just how weak he is. I don't think his physicality suits the Premier League at all.
No.
Watching 6 years' time, he's going to be a world-class winger, and this clip's going to be on the internet. Love to see it, but I just think Dan James is like on Football Manager when you've got your winger that just runs and runs and runs. You go, cross it right now, and he doesn't do it.
Yeah,
it's a goal kick.
Right, so we'll go Dan James. I'm happy to go that. Next,
I don't care what anyone says. If Guendouzi's not in here,
Regan, I was about to go on to Guendouzi. He's getting in. I mean, Charles, actually, because you didn't put him, what are your thoughts? Would you have him in, or?
Well, genuinely, my thing was. Do you know what it is? Part of it is I had Ceballos in there, and I just didn't want to put another Arsenal midfielder in there. I'm more than happy to put Matteo Guendouzi. I mean, we're going to put him in over Ceballos. So if I just talk about Ceballos, I think he came in, and any glimpse of a midfielder who in any way represents Santi Cazorla, Arsenal fans spunk over it. But Dani Ceballos is Santi Cazorla without the decision making, without the ability to track back, and without the passion and the sort of drive. He does circles. Yeah, he's technically quite good. He rarely loses the ball. But I don't think he offers that much. He's like a pivot of a midfielder, but a pivot who just plays in the centre. I just think he's just a bit of a myth.
I don't mean he's a pivot. But no, I agree. I don't think he's any good. He's a pivot, but he doesn't actually... Proper pivots, like Santi Cazorla, drag the whole team up the field. Santi Ceballos doesn't do that, does he? He doesn't. No. But getting on to Guendouzi, the reason I think Guendouzi's in there, decent player. He's not like the worst player in the world. But my lord, this guy, I'm hearing future Ballon d'Or winner, sort of. And I know there is loads of ridiculous people out there, but that, like, future Ballon d'Or winner isn't like one geese who's just said it. People are saying that. And what am I hearing? What?
Do you remember a couple of when was it? It might have been like season 1 when we said that in the Golden Boy votes he got like 5 votes.
Oh yeah,
the Golden Boy.
The geezer's Johan Cabaye with frizzy hair. Do you know what I mean? Like that is what he is. He's not like he's. Yeah. He's not. I don't.
When you're the worst player with frizzy hair in a team with David Luiz, you know you're terrible.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, I don't understand the Guendouzi hype. I see him get the ball, pass it a bit sideways. But like this ain't like for there's little glimpses there, and generally that is all I've ever seen him do: get the ball and pass it sideways.
He's the next Kante. No, he's not.
No, he's not.
Not.
I mean, he's clearly got a stinking attitude as well. That thing that happened to Morpie. Like, I mean, he couldn't take. Apparently, he was giving it to Morpie all game, saying about how he earns more money. He doesn't earn more money. What an idiot! And then strangled Morpie at the end of the game when he gave a bit back. Like this guy's got a terrible attitude, and I could see him really fizzing out. But yeah, this Guendouzi guy, I mean, decent player, but I mean, it's just that like the shouts that he is getting, he is probably the most overrated player in, I think, this whole 11 that it's going to be, because I don't understand it.
I can't even see him getting in the French national team, let alone a Ballon d'Or winner.
No chance. I don't. Yeah, there's so many better.
How old is this guy? How old is he?
He's like 19, I think.
He's got 19 or 20, really good. 21 maximum.
I mean, this says it like I know,
21.
Like 21. All right.
21.
And then you go like this. I know young players have time to develop, and he's going to be better than this player. I know it's going to sound like an outrage. At the moment, Luka Milojevic, who plays for Crystal Palace, is easily better than Mateo.
Yeah, of course.
But like, I mean, if these players are like 21 and they're like a good Premier League player, they're just not like elite level yet, then I'm happy for them to get like these praise. The guy's an average, below average Premier League player. And just because he's young, and he plays for Arsenal, he gets hyped up.
You think of other players in that position across the league, I say he's down there as one of the worst.
Yeah, I would.
I'd take John McGinn over him.
Yeah, I would. I think better footballer. Right. Guendouzi's in there.
I'm happy with Guendouzi. So we've got Guendouzi, Dan James.
Can I ask for your debate on Roberto Pereira, Charles?
Yeah.
Honestly, I just think he's not justifying his place at Watford. I feel like his output is not great. He's a flash in the pan player. I get it. He's not. You don't look to Pereira for like that. It's going to bring you consistency and he's going to drive a midfield or whatever. But I just don't think. I feel like there's a lot of better flash in the pan players than Pereira.
No, I think I'm going to agree with you on that. I wasn't going to at first. I thought you just can't expect. But Roberto Pereira, I think maybe a couple of years ago when he first joined Watford, he was doing it more consistently. But you're right. Recently, he's like seen as this like really good player. He's just nowhere near the level. I mean, this guy's a bit of flash in the pan as well, but he's nowhere near as good as Gerard Deulofeu, is he? Like,
yeah.
And like,
nowhere near as good.
Can you remember? I know Watford had a really bad season, and they're starting to get better now. But can you remember like Pereira really contributing this season?
No, I don't. He's not even found himself in the starting lineup a lot as well.
Yeah, I think I agree. Well, like I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to put him in my actual 11, but I do agree that.
I genuinely think on his day, because I don't know why, but I kind of have a soft spot for Watford because I think some of the football they play is actually quite enjoyable.
No, I don't mind Watford.
On his day, I genuinely think he's probably top 3 at the club, Pereira.
Yeah.
Ability-wise, of course, yeah.
But the problem is,
I don't think he does.
He has those days, one in every like 15. Like,
I think it's just the same thing where I don't think many people actually rate him anyway.
No, I think you're right. I think when he does do something special, people are like, "Oh, he's got that ability. He's got that." But I don't think people do say like he should be playing for a higher club. I don't think he really.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that debate.
Right, I think last I want to address Andreas Pereira because I just got so much to say on that human. It's unbelievable, right?
Mm.
So who are we going to go for our third slot? We've got options of Tom Davies. Who's other options? Alex Iwobi. I put it out there.
Harry Winks.
Mason Mount.
Mason Mount. Is there anyone there who anyone would say definitely no, like not the most overrated, and go into
Mason Mount?
I agree. I don't think Mason Mount's that.
I think Mason Mount has. It's one of these ones of all these players. It's the one who's actually he's really good. He is really good, but I don't think he's going to be like starting 11 England player, which a lot of people tend to say. And I don't think his season has been as good as people say it's been. He had a really good start. And his output was amazing at the start of the season. I feel like for basically 2/3 of the season, it's been fairly ineffective, which, fair enough, he's still a young player trying to adapt to the Premier League. But I feel like for a lot of the shouts he's getting, he hasn't quite earned that yet.
Do you not all agree with Charles on that? I think Mason Mount is a very good player, especially for how young he is. And he definitely, he puts himself about the right way. And
got a good attitude and everything.
Yeah, I really want him to be the next Frank Lampard, just because.
Oh yeah, I really like him as a player.
And to be honest, I think he could still play consistently for Chelsea and get like 10, 11 goals from midfield every season. The problem with Mason Mount is, I do see compared to players who play in that position, and I know this could be weird, but James Maddison, Dele Alli, and even Ross Barkley, I don't think Mason Mount has got the technical ability of those three. I think Mason Mount's going to have a better career than Ross Barkley. Don't get me wrong. But I think Ross Barkley actually has got more ability. Do you not agree with that? I think Ross Barkley does have more ability.
I feel Mason Mount has that. Ross Barkley just has some innate things in his game that just make him
but he's never going to make it.
Selfish. His decision making is terrible.
Yeah.
And his shooting is just 1 in 20.
Yeah.
Those things will never leave Ross Barkley's game. But Mason Mount, a lot of people. I don't think people overrate how good he is now. I feel like he's fairly rated quality. I just don't think that his season has justified the claims of his potential.
Yeah, so you think he's overrated for what he's going to achieve?
Think about what Frank Lampard was doing at his age.
Right.
I mean, it's not extremely dissimilar, but I don't think he's on the same trajectory as a Lampard.
No, I think I agree that Mason Mount's going to be a good player and a very good Premier League player, and I hope he actually keeps at Chelsea. And I
want him to prove me wrong.
But yeah, I think there is a ceiling with him. I do agree with that.
I wouldn't put him in. I think there's some players you've suggested.
Some of the players in the Premier League, I don't think he deserves to be in this team.
No, he doesn't deserve, really.
But so we've got Tom Davies left, Harry Winks, and Alex Iwobi.
I mean, Alex Iwobi.
I wouldn't want Winks in the side personally, because I think he is actually a good footballer.
I've never seen anything from him. I've got to be honest.
Personally, Rick, I know what you mean. He is injured too much, and he's never going to become. And I think similar to Mount, he's not going to become the player Spurs fans want him to be. He's not going to. But when he does play, I do see good performances from him. Like I do watch him and think sometimes he's the Spurs' best player. Personally, when I do watch him,
I don't think. Well, like I said, I don't watch Tottenham, but from what I've seen from him, I can't even see him in the England squad, if I'm quite honest.
No, I'd have him in the England squad over some players.
I think it's because it might be the way that Spurs are playing him, that they're trying to make him replicate what Moussa Dembele did before him and what Victor Wanyama did before him, and that kind of position, tracking back a little bit in the centre midfield. But from what I've seen from him in that position, I think he's nowhere near as good as those players. And to get the recognition he deserves, and yet not be as good as Victor Wanyama in the position he tries to play in, like I don't see it with him.
Yeah.
But the one player though that I did contemplate swapping him out for was actually Alex Iwobi.
I think Alex Iwobi.
You know what it is? Tom. That's right.
Alex Iwobi in League One, and he wouldn't do.
No, this is the thing. Tom Davies, I think he's just suffered from having just randomly coming into the Everton team and being so good at the start, and then just plateaued into an average.
You can never keep that up.
But to be honest, I maybe Evertonians still overhype him, but I don't think everyone else overhypes Tom Davies. Really, I don't think he's not a player.
I think it's fairly established that Tom Davies won't.
Yeah.
Anything.
Whereas Alex Iwobi, my lord, that guy has nothing about him.
I don't think he'd even get over 5 goals in League One.
I agree. There's me and Tom Egg always say this. There's some footballers. It doesn't matter what league they play in, they'll be average. Doesn't matter what league they played in. They do the same in League One as they do in the Premier League. Generally, like there are some footballers like that who's just because the way they play, Iwobi gets down the wing, tries a bit of skill, or like not like a really flashy bit of skill, but tries a bit of skill, and he'll either overrun the ball or he'll cross it into the first bloke. Don't see him as a goal threat. I don't see him as a goal threat at all. He's had the only time he's ever been hyped up is because Arsenal have been so bad that he's like, I don't know.
Yeah, like in the Europa League final when they were terrible and he scored that one.
He's like a diamond in a lump of shit, isn't he? Like that was like the sort of, but that's what he was.
A diamond, just a bit of food.
He was a bit of
corn in the lump of shit.
He was a bit of corn in a lump of shit. That is what he was. That is what Alex Iwobi was. I mean, I just think, yeah, I just think he's very limited, and and the price tag as well. No price tag shouldn't really. What Everton thinking?
That was terrible.
Yeah.
I think he was a panic buy.
This is the problem. I think it's not even that I've got too much to sag off Iwobi about. It's just that I think that the guy has been rated his whole career. He's not been classed as some amazing player, but he's been rated his whole career. When I think his whole career there has been nothing there.
He'll do a few flip-flaps for you. He might do a roulette every now and again.
Club
But apart from
he
that,
stole a living at Arsenal 11.
oh yeah,
The guy should be at like one of the winger options at Crystal Palace, like with Andros Townsend and Zaha.
I could see that.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like that's his level. I don't even then like.
I feel like he was just a panic buy for Everton when they found out they couldn't get Zaha. When just chuck anything at him.
They should have just paid the extra money for Zaha.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was literally just about to say he's with Zaha, but with a fraction of the ability.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
Iwobi's going.
So it's
I'd say Iwobi.
Dan James
and Guendouzi. And to be honest, and because of mine and Regan's last fit, it's probably going to be this guy as well.
Andres Pereira.
Right. Don't get me stuck. Right. This guy, I have never seen a Premier League footballer, and I know this sounds mental, and he plays for Manchester United. Forget, he doesn't play for Norwich. I have never seen a Premier League footballer have so little about him. It is unbelievable. No skill, no pace, no decision-making, no goal threat, no defensive ability to tackle. Do you know what he has? He has an okay touch and a bit of agility. The guy, so every now and then he'll weave in and out of a midfielder. The guy, he doesn't contribute anything to the game. When he gets on the ball, he slows things down for Manchester United. He is a passenger. They might as well have 10 players on the pitch. And actually, he gets in the way a bit because he slows the game down. Andres Pereira is now, I think he's about 24, is he, Andres Pereira? He had all these loans
around that, yeah.
He had all these loan spells out at clubs, and he did okay for I think it was Celta Vigo or Getafe, one of those two. He did okay for one of them. And Manchester United fans were still, I think they have started to give up on him now, but they were typing him up. He's going to be this decent youngster. He's going to be this decent youngster. Andres Pereira is the biggest fraud of a footballer I think I've ever seen play in the Premier League.
Have you seen some of the reports recently that Man United will try to do a direct swap deal for a deal with Van der Beek or Havertz? Are you mad? You think you can get Havertz just for a straight swap with Andreas Pereira?
Are they taking?
That's mad.
Do you know what Andres Pereira should be doing? Getting 4 goals, 8 assists in the Championship. Like what? Do you...
I thought you were going to say clean the seats at Old Trafford.
Andres Pereira,
tea lady.
Andres Pereira's the Brazilian John Swift. Like I don't like.
Yeah, but Swift's got something about him as some elements.
Yeah, like, at least Swift has got a bit of a goal threat. I don't understand. This is why I hate Pereira so much. I just don't understand what he has. I don't know what footballer. I don't know what would you class Andres Pereira as? Like as a footballer, what would you say? Was he a holding midfielder, a deep line playmaker, box to box, a creative midfielder? I think he's a creative midfielder without any of the creativity. Is the problem?
He's just like
I don't know what he is.
I don't know.
I've had my.
I feel like he's just there to gather.
John Swift is a frosted flake, and Andres Pereira is a cornflake.
Andres Pereira's a bran flake.
Tastes of nothing. Offers nothing.
Yeah, you'll consume him, but nothing.
I think Andres Pereira's a bran flake, and he's been covered with like fruit and berries, which is the rest of the Manchester United side. Do you know what I mean?
And you're eating these, and you're enjoying the lovely fruits of the labour of the squad, like the fruits, like the sort of the pod.
The thing that's worrying,
the thing that's getting that the bran flakes are just average.
The thing that's ruining your bowl of cereal is the bran flake.
Because it's so passive.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It's like when you eat all the fruits and all you've got left at the end is bran flakes. You're like, I can't eat that. That's like Andres Pereira.
No, but then what you do is you sub him off, put him in the bin.
Yeah.
Chuck him away. And put some more berries in.
You know what is the most Andres Pereira minute for a substitution? He definitely goes off in the 65th every time. Like
it's the 65th to the 69th minute, and they bring on like Matic or something like that.
Yeah, right.
Right, strikers.
So we've got 2 strikers in the team. Mine are Alexander Lacazette and Roberto Firmino.
Mine are Tammy Abraham and Roberto Firmino.
Yes.
Mine is Roberto Firmino and Gabriel Jesus.
Yes! We all said Firmino. Oh my God! Thank God! This guy is unbelievably.
Say no more.
I want to say, right.
But Charles, you're not a football hipster, so you wouldn't know.
So basically, if you watch a football game, you don't watch Firmino, you see nothing or something. And you watch him, you see everything. I don't think the whole scale of the pitch is happening at all times of the game within the peripheral of your eyesight. Watch Roberto Firmino. Yeah, great. He passes it. Roberto Firmino is a really, really good player. Don't get me wrong. but he is not better than. First of all, he's not better than Mane and Salah. And I know there's a
People who say that.
but people are saying, "Oh, we should be up for the best player of the season." What do you mean? What do you mean?
Has the guy scored? I think he has one now. Had he even scored at Anfield this season?
I don't think he had. But
He scored against Atletico.
Yeah, that was
even if, because he's not that kind of player, and I totally get that. He's not the player who's going to get you 25 goals a season, because he does hold up, and the idea is that he's the glue that puts together the Mane and Salah who do score more goals. But he's not the best player in that Liverpool squad.
Do you know what he is? And I know, and the thing is, what annoys me when I say stuff about Firmino is that people try and act like I don't know the game of football. I know the game of football. There are so many players out there that I feel are so underrated, and I don't care if someone doesn't get all of the goals, okay? But it's just that Firmino is the modern day, the modern game. I know it's a different position. Michael Carrick is in. Yes, the guy was a good player. Firmino is a good player. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a good player.
Very good player.
Jesus Christ. The guy, all of this, he's so unselfish, he runs. You can get anyone to be unselfish and run. I know he does it in a certain way. You can. He has a bit of skill. Yes, he does. But he's not an amazing goal threat. If Liverpool had signed Timo Werner to go and striker, the guy would have been so much better than Roberto Firmino in that front three. The guy would have got 25 goals as well as doing the running and closing down. Oh, yeah, maybe he wouldn't have bopped off one or two passes to the midfield as much and kept the ball. But Jesus Christ, what he would have done would have outshone what Firmino does. The guy isn't. This is the thing. We're talking about Firmino. Is not that he's not a good player and deserves to be in that Liverpool front three. He does, but people rate him as literally the best in that. There's people who have the cheek of saying he's the best forward in the Premier League. The guy gets 12 goals a season. And I know goals aren't his game, but in that Liverpool front three, you could easily get more. And I don't really see. How everyone's he's sort of the unselfish things he does off the ball. I don't see them personally.
Because you're not watching the game, Bill.
I don't see them personally. I don't get it. It's not like I see. When N'Golo Kante first came around, and I had never in my life, he opened my eyes on N'Golo Kante, seen a player run so much. And you could notice it. You don't even have to watch Kante. You just noticed how much he ran. I don't see that with Firmino. I see a player who drops in, does a nice touch.
It's overrated how much Firmino's
involvement with Liverpool is. Yeah,
goals. Yeah. Look at the assists that Andy Robertson and Trent get. A lot of their goals come from wing play from their fullbacks, and a lot of goals come from just hitting it over the top. Obviously patiently and as part of a calculated attack. But a lot of their goals, it's not in my opinion, they'd still dominate the league if they just had someone even a little bit less good than Firmino.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, I don't think he makes that big of a difference to the team. He helps, and obviously, if you swap Firmino for David McGoldrick, there'd be issues. But what we're saying is, Firmino is.
It's not imperative to Liverpool, as some people.
No.
Not some people. A lot of people say.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Firmino is is the biggest myth and one of the biggest myths in Premier League. Roberto Firmino.
You can take a majority of the players out the Liverpool team. If you took when you saw your Henderson go out, you can see the results dip. Van Dijk goes out. Yeah, you can see more. Mane, Salah out.
And actually, what have we seen? Less. When Divock Origi plays instead of Roberto Firmino, they still get goals. And actually, Origi gets goals.
He does, yeah.
Is there that much of a difference between Liverpool with Origi up top and Firmino? I don't think there is.
Personally. It's like against Everton, when the Everton defence realised when they marked Mane and they marked Salah, they couldn't produce anything. And they still couldn't score. There was no attacking threat otherwise.
Yeah, I'm just not having it. It's just that I saw the kickoff did a Manchester United, the Manchester United 99 team joint with.
Liverpool. Yeah.
And they all just went, because they're all footballing hipsters who watch all the time, the Premier League and all. We all support top six sides. They all went straight away. They all went, oh yeah, Firmino's the striker. I was like, what? What are you on about?
What, ahead of Andy Cole and Solskjaer and all that?
Yes. I couldn't believe it. I actually couldn't believe it.
On the kickoff?
Yeah. Do you know what it is? What sums up Roberto Firmino's hype, and I know it's not just this guy, and I like this guy. If you know Lawrence McKenna on the kickoff, this whole how you can talk about, you could be a proper football fan, you speak about Chelsea Rory goes on there and he has some terrible opinions, but he'd be a proper football fan, he goes watch Chelsea home and away for years. He goes on, and just because he's a bit brash with his opinions sometimes, you have a person like Lawrence McKenna, a bit of a football hipster, come in and starts going, no, but you don't understand, you see. He does this, he does that. No, he doesn't. Shut up.
Football's not that complex.
But Liverpool fans see something that no one else does and make people
Football
believe
is not that complex. And everyone thinks it's like, oh yeah, we're all playing checkers, just going for our crossing and shooting goal, 1-0. But Firmino is like using some sort of different, like, intergalactic movement.
Yeah.
He's
a
dragged the
football player who
defender.
breathes oxygen.
Yeah, all right. I'm clipping this bit up because I want it. And just a little side note before we move off of Firmino. Minamino is not a Firmino replacement. I'll give Firmino that. He's 100 times better than that Minamino. What is he doing? What a terrible
Right.
signing. I'm not having him.
Signed him because they got Eno at the end.
Yeah, no. And
Same guy.
no, obviously Liverpool didn't sign him because they got Eno in the end. But that's why some of the fans think he's going to be a Firmino. It is. I'm not having it.
Firmino.
It's like he's a little mini Mino, isn't he? Like,
Load of time.
anyway,
Right. Who was everyone else's other option? So mine was Lacazette.
I went for Tammy Abraham.
Gabriel Jesus.
Oof.
Well, we all got to make our stakes for our players. So, Bill, you go first with Lacazette.
Lacazette, very good goal scorer for Lyon in the French league, but we all know I'm not going to completely slag off. My whole case isn't just because he played in the French league, but we know it was a bit of a weaker league. And Lyon weren't the top side in that league, were they? They got Europa League and Champions League football sometimes. It was like they mixed between the two. And Lacazette get 25 goals in a season, but he was their main man. Everything revolved around him.
Yeah.
I think since he's come to Arsenal, he maybe that first showed some glimpses because Arsenal had because he came before Aubameyang, didn't he, Lacazette? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
The Arsenal had struggled with strikers, and they had like the likes of Olivier Giroud, and they were so excited about this guy. He's quite strong. He's a nuisance in the box, but I don't think he offers anything else around the game really, apart from being strong in his box. And you don't have to if you score 25 goals. He doesn't score 25 goals in the Premier League. My other case is, but Lacazette is generally like when you say Lacazette, you think, oh, like one of the best strikers in the world. Like that's what people often go to. He's not one of the best strikers in the world at all. I don't think he's a 13, 14 goal a season striker for Arsenal. It's not that impressive in my opinion.
The evidence is there with Lyon, isn't it? Because you have Moussa Dembele and you have Memphis Depay there now.
And they're smashing it. And I be honest, I thought Lacazette was going to be really good. It's not that I have anything against Lacazette. I don't think he's produced at all. And to be honest, he's had a few years now, so it's not like.
Yeah.
I feel like he's a good addition to Arsenal as a team player, but yeah, individually, I can't see him be like the Aubameyang.
I quite like him. I think he offers there's certain things in his game that he offers that Arsenal haven't had in ages. He's, like you say, he's quite a nuisance in the box. He's able to get assists and score goals from certain situations. Go, how did he do that? How did he score that? He does have that sort of flick where he can produce a really like world-class piece of quality potentially. But in terms of his scoring numbers, I feel like in an ideal world, you could have Lacazette and Aubameyang up top and have Aubameyang as a 25 goal a season striker and have Lacazette as your sort of, 13, 14 goals, 10 assists, and that would work perfectly. But as you say, I don't think he's really doing that right now. So I understand why you think he's overrated.
Yeah. But,
I feel like he's a good role player in a team where they don't want him to be a role player.
Yeah. This is the thing. It's the thing. I think, this is the problem. I just think that he's a good striker. Don't get me wrong, good player, but he's not. If you say elite strikers around the world, you go for like a top 10 or a top 15. I don't think he's even in that personally.
I think
for out and out goal scoring,
he would be in a top 20, but like top 10 strikers, I don't think. Like how like people seem to still think of him as maybe just under that bracket of like Lewandowski and Kane, and like around that. No way near.
No, he's not
even
that.
Close.
If you think that, you should be killed. I'm sorry, there's no way.
Right, Charles said Tammy Abraham.
I think just look at the proof. Chelsea spent 60 million on Timo Werner because they're not confident enough that Tammy Abraham's good enough to carry it himself.
Yeah.
A blistering start to the season, but if you look at his goals now, he's got 13 goals this season. Granted, that's good, but in 33 games, and I think he's a bit of a myth in regards that he got like 7 or 8 goals at Swansea. In a better Chelsea team, he's now got about 13 or 14. So if you like comparatively say, oh, he's got a bit better through his career, and also he's at a better squad, I think it pans out quite similarly. And I just don't think over the course of a season, Tammy Abraham is good enough to be starting up top for Chelsea at all. And I think that's why Chelsea have signed Timo Werner. if Frank Lampard is someone who invests so much time into players, he's going to keep starting Mount, let's be honest. Players like Tomori and James, although we're not sure that they're not necessarily going to get replaced, the fact that he's so quickly gone for a striker shows that I don't think he rates Tammy Abraham as much as he does the other young English players within that Chelsea fold.
I can't disagree with anything you've said, really.
Yeah, I agree because in the who did he have in that Swansea team when he scored 7 or 8? I can't really remember any significant others, do you?
It wasn't a good Swansea team, to be honest.
But if you're charging up the field with Willian and Mason Mount and Pulisic either side, you're guaranteed at least 10 a season.
Yeah, and I do agree that I think he started really well. But like when Chelsea have had the bad patches in the season, he's not been getting the goals out of nowhere to sort of help them. He's been getting the goals and banking in on it, and fair play to him when Chelsea were playing free flow and good football. But when they have had their little patches where they've been bad, Tammy Abraham hasn't been scoring. I know he did have an injury, but I agree. I think Tammy Abraham's a good player, a good Premier League striker, and I'd still have him as an option in the England squad.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
but I don't think he's going to become a world-class striker.
I think the purchase of Timo Werner has basically confirmed that they don't.
Yeah, I worry for Tammy.
They don't think he can carry the team forward.
I'm assuming what they're going to do is have Werner as their striker and Tammy Abraham as their backup and get rid of Giroud. I'm assuming.
Giroud signed a new contract. So they're not getting rid of Giroud.
I think because Tammy Abraham's still young, he might put him on loan for a year or so.
No,
and then when Giroud leaves, they come back. Maybe
not having that. I mean, that's what they might do, but I'm not having that if that's a good thing for him. You're getting a dangerous territory there of just turning into a loan player.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. I think it's not that. I think that's what they're going to do because it's Chelsea, and Chelsea and loans is like an old married couple. It's not good for him.
He's had Bristol City, Aston Villa, and Swansea now. I mean, if he goes and has this season at Chelsea, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's finally done it. He's gonna be Chelsea," and then goes back to going on loan. No, you're not making it. I'm afraid.
I feel like if he had continued I feel like at this point, if he had about 18, 19 goals, and he's not at that sort. Because bear in mind, he had like 9 goals in his first 9 games.
Yeah.
About 13. I feel like if he continued his season, Chelsea might be a little bit more apprehensive to go buy Werner. But I feel like over the course of the season, I don't think Chelsea he's not justified to Frank Lampard to say, you've got to be my number one, like I've got to be your number one starting striker.
Yeah.
It might just be the case that Werner is like one of the best strikers in the world. And
I mean, if Werner's available, buy him. But I guess it's not one of those things where you'd say, oh, don't sign him just because we have Tammy Abraham. But I don't know. They're not going to accommodate for Tammy Abraham, which I feel like they might do more with.
I feel like the purchase of Timo Werner has strengthened the argument that he is overrated.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Gabriel Jesus.
The last one.
I just don't really see because Man City at the moment in the last few years are probably one of the greatest teams to ever play in the Premier League. Like the squads in the last few years, hands down.
Yeah.
But when you think of that Man City 11, do you think or the squad, do you think one of the first players coming in your head as the main striker getting goals is Gabriel Jesus?
He's got Aguero in front of him.
It's not. And do you know that this season Jesus has played more minutes than Aguero?
Really?
Yeah.
And he has like 11 or 12 less goals.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes, obviously Pep might.
That's interesting. I didn't know he actually played that many minutes.
Pep might see something in him to be. You know what? Yeah, he's got some potential, but obviously the stats are there. No, he doesn't. He just doesn't anymore.
I swear he had a really good season last season. To be fair,
he goes through really hot patches.
I know, but this is this season though. This is this season.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know if we're talking about just this one season, are we?
But
I've
this
gone
season,
mainly off this season.
Yeah, I'd say that it might just be because the setup that Man City have that their second team could challenge for a Premier League title. But I will forever see him until he leaves to go to like a semi-decent team. I always see him as a backup striker. And it's the fact that think that he gets more minutes than the best foreign player, possibly in the Premier League history, best foreign striker for sure. I don't think he deserves any credit for anything he's done. Because I don't remember any standout performances from him. He's just a person that comes on, He's a bit like Lacazette in some points, where he'll come on. Sometimes he'll get a goal or two. Sometimes he'll set one up for the better striker, and then that's it. And then that's it done.
Now, what I'll give you is Jesus doesn't really have much to his game other than goals when he does get the goals. And yeah, he does have a team that often put the ball on a plate for him. You're right. You'd have to see how he does. I don't know how he would do at a lower club, or whether he'd get 20 goals in a season if he played. I'm not sure.
No chance.
But I'll be honest, I think if he does still somehow, and because he's highly rated by people in the game, even if he left Man City and went to like a Bayern Munich and just like kept popping around those clubs, I think he is a very good backup striker. I know what you mean, but like people, you don't think he's got the potential to be like a world-class striker that some people may look at him and think he does. But I still think he's gonna have a very good career, and I still think he's gonna. I mean, I think from like he must have scored at least 15 goals last season from just being a backup striker. I know this season's been poorer, but I don't know. I don't think he gets my overrated 11 just because I think, yeah, he gets highly rated and all he is a backup striker. But as a backup strikers go, I think he's probably one of the best out there as backup strikers go.
But I don't think for the recognition that some people give him that he should be a backup striker.
No, I know what you mean. That people say he's like really, really good, and then all he is at the end of the day is a backup striker. But he is backup striker to Sergio Aguero. So I don't know. I think he's all right. I don't really have much against Jesus, to be honest. I get the argument.
Yeah, I don't have too much against him.
But I don't think he gets overhyped too much for what he does.
Okay, so so we've obviously got Bobby Firmino.
Bobby Firmino's in there. So the last sense, who's our last striker? I mean
obviously
it's basically I've got to decide it, haven't I? Since if we're not going.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah, let you decide the reading. Lacazette or Tammy Abraham.
I think maybe because I think Tammy Abraham has the longevity to do a lot better. At the moment, I'd say Lacazette.
Fair enough.
I guess that's right because I understand. That's the thing. Charles's argument is really good, but Tammy Abraham is, but he's still got like years where he could just randomly, he could still become good. Whereas Lacazette's sort of had his time now, and it's not worked out.
For his age, I think Abraham's actually had a good season for his age.
Yeah, for his age.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, but I know Charles's argument was that.
Oh yeah, I know his argument.
Now that Werner's been bought, like,
right. I feel like if he wasn't bought, that he wouldn't be in the conversation to be overrated.
So our team, from what I remember, is Alex McCarthy in goal.
No, nope. Tim Krul.
Oh God, yeah, I was thinking about my team. Sorry.
Good start.
Tim Krul in goal. Yeah, that's good. We started with Tim Krul in goal. Got
Michael Keane.
Back four of Michael Keane, Andreas Christensen, Ryan Burchard, and Bukayo Saka. In midfield, we have Alex Iwobi, Matteo Guendouzi, Dan James, and Andreas Pereira. And up front is Lacazette and Firmino. It's not too far off the team I had. I think there's like 3 or 4 changes.
Mine's back now.
But we got a pick. I haven't done this yet, so we can have a little something.
Oh, manager.
Yeah, pick a manager for that.
I know who I'm choosing.
Give me 1 second. Regan, talk about yours whilst I find.
It just come off the top of my head, but it's Dean Smith. He's a Premier League manager. Stop, man. Just stop. It's either him or David Moyes.
He's not a Premier League gaffer, is he?
I know. Moyes is a joke at this point. I'm sorry. Moyes is a joke.
The fact David Moyes still gets Premier League.
Is Moyes rated by people? He's rated by people, somehow owners out there, but is he rated by people? I don't think he is.
David Moyes is still on his Man United contract, and he's on like his 23rd job since then. You're not a good manager. But, I mean, that's just gone off the top of my head. I haven't really looked at other managers as such, because if I'm going through...
You know what? I'm going to go Pep Guardiola.
That's mental. I was thinking about
one of the greatest managers of all time.
In terms of and what he's done in the Premier League, Klopp's been better than him.
Yeah, it doesn't mean he's overrated though, does it? It just means
he's Pep,
second best in the
to
league.
be fair, Pep has achieved. He has achieved. I know he's had.
Of course he's achieved.
He's got
best managers who's ever existed.
But
I'm sorry, it is a disgrace that he's so many points off Liverpool this season, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I agree. But I do also think that the thing that I had over it, I still think Pep's achieved so much, and you're allowed off seasons. But the thing that I hate is the whole how overrated his tactics are. So I mean, the guy plays ridiculously good football. It's nice and all that, and I get it. But I mean, this whole like the whole fullbacks coming in field thing that often gets. It's not that revolutionary, is it? You know what I mean? Like everyone's talking about like, oh my god, how's he fought it? Just put his fullbacks in a bit so they can pass it. Like,
Yeah. No, I mean,
do you know who's more revolutionary than Pep Guardiola? Obviously, different scale, and Chris Wilder's more revolutionary than Pep Guardiola in the terms of the tactic he plays. I'm not saying it's worked, but like he is. Chris Wilder's more revolutionary than Pep Guardiola.
No, yeah. I just the more I raise my eyebrows, the more you're like.
Oh yeah. Well, he plays.
Oh, yeah.
Pep Guardiola plays 4-3-3. Yeah, but it's pretty much exactly the same as anything. But when he's on the ball, because they have so much of the ball, the fullbacks come in a bit. Like he's still really good.
I mean, I wouldn't put him as.
But it's just the whole revolutionary thing of Guardiola. I don't really get behind.
I mean, Ralph Hasenhüttl was also a shout, but
no, but
I don't think he is.
I think he's doing all right at the moment. To be fair to him.
Yeah,
I think he's actually quite underrated with the job he's doing with that team. The team
yeah,
he
no, right,
has.
his defence
I
is
think
terrible.
Southampton's team's clapped personally. I mean, that's probably not the word I should use.
But I don't want us to settle on Pep. I'm sorry, we're not set.
No, well, my shout.
On Pep.
I know, bit too early to say. My shout's gonna be Mikel Arteta.
I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's also a shout.
I think it's too early to say about those two,
Well, yeah, maybe.
especially Arteta.
Who is your shout, Regan? Your first shout?
Dean Smith.
I'll tell you what, I'm happy with Dean Smith.
Oh, Bill, you can't defend your old manager like that after you slated him in like every episode ever.
Right. We can go Dean Smith just because the only
Defensively
reason he got Aston Villa up is because he managed them exactly the way he managed Brentford, which is quite well for a championship team. He managed us well. He kept us in the back first. The man can't organise a defence and never will. He still didn't when he went up with Villa. He just had Tyrone Mings, who was a bit too good for the champ at the back, and he just had better players. But that Aston Villa team should have been going up. And I know it's not all of him, and he's had a lot of investment, and his purchases have been absolutely terrible. And the thing that I keep seeing that annoys me, he went to the Premier League and he didn't change a thing. He still was so naive with how, because Aston Villa's defending is terrible, isn't it? Like it's absolutely shambles.
Yeah, it's horrible.
He was so naive with the players he got in that he just went for. Didn't go for proper defenders. He just went for people who could pass the ball about, and then he bought too much just shit in midfield and up front. And yeah, I'll be honest. I think Aston Villa, when they finally came up, he should have kept them up, and he had potential to make that squad good, and he's absolutely buggered it.
He's basically like Slavisa Jokanovic, except for Jokanovic except for Dean Smith has been kept on this whole time, even though from December people have noticed he's not a good manager.
Yeah. All right, we could give Dean Smith his gaffer. God, imagine Dean Smith managing that defence. Jesus.
Dean Smith managing Lacazette and Firmino. Go back on defence, lads.
He's not quite someone.
Should we have a look at that squad? Where do we think they'd come in the league? Quickly.
Okay. Right, so in goal, Krul. So I'd go like.
Well, Tim Krul, so we got 18th straight away.
I'd go right back Burchard, probably Bukayo Saka left back. Then Christensen and Keane at centre backs. Then I'd go like a front, maybe change to a front three of.
Lacquer on the left, James on the right.
It'd have to be 4-4-2 because of Iwobi. So you go Iwobi, James on the wings, midfield two of Guendouzi, Pereira, and up front Lacazette and Firmino.
I think it could.
That screams a 13th place.
I think it would come like 14th, 15th.
No, I think it'd come
13th place, that is.
I think it'd be disgustingly bad.
Do you reckon it'd get in a relegation battle?
Because this is the problem. Right? Individual players aren't like, I know this is an overrated team and not a terrible team. There's some decent individual players in there. But in that team, can you imagine, right? So the defence would be all over the place to start with.
The midfield spine would be probably the worst in Premier League history.
You have Tim Krul just like letting stuff in. Like, this is the problem. So your strike force would get you quite a few goals. But my lord, you know that they say games are won and lost in midfield. my that
Pereira and
He's so
Guendouzi.
obviously lost.
Can you imagine Guendouzi and Pereira just passing it sideways to each other for 90 minutes, and then when they get it out to the wing, Iwobi just falls over and James runs down the wing and then doesn't.
We just run it out for goal kicks each side.
Yeah,
that's
that's
funny.
what it'd be like.
All right, should we call it there? We all
Yeah. All right, that is our overrated Premier League.
underrated. Ooh.
We'll do underrated at some point. I'm sure we'll get Jack to edit this one. He can chuck up the final sort of team up on the screen. Yeah, that's it. Lovely stuff. Right. Remember
Maybe when we come back next week, Fulham might not be in the playoffs. Who knows?
Yeah, good. I bloody hope not. That would be funny. Scott Parker. If it was a championship team, he'd be managing. Right. Yeah, right. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave us a rating on iTunes. And I think the next one is going to be me and Charles doing Rambles of UK cities. So we'll see you, I think, on Friday. It is. See you later, chaps.
Peace. Fuck Scott Parker.